All right. So we're back here once again on another episode of Couch Coach Live. We're here once again Wednesday night under the lights here. What's going on, Mal?
What's up, man? How you
Yeah,
doing? You getting
good,
old.
man.
You're getting older, mature.
Yeah, man.
right,
Absolutely. Yeah. Pretty good for a 9-year-old.
right,
So,
right.
yeah. So, we had a great show lined up for you tonight. So, obviously, today is a special day, obviously, for multiple reasons. We got NFL teams heading to training camp. This might be the last night that Daniel Snyder is the owner of the Washington Commanders. So, and coupled with the fact that today is the 9th anniversary of the debut of Couch Coach Live. So,
You,
got a great show lined up for you tonight. So we'll talk about Saquon Barkley and then pretty much the value of running backs. We'll also talk about Hard Knocks with the New York Jets now being the featured team in this year's Hard Knocks. A movie, not a movie, but a series that really has. I want to binge watch it so bad. I've been trying to give myself like episode by episode, trying to feed myself in small doses because Lord knows I would binge this show. We'll talk about the Netflix series QB. We'll talk about who we would want to see in season 2. And also, we'll take some time to reflect kind of the journey that is the Couch Coach Live experience. And then we'll wrap it up with our game ball and final thoughts. So we got a great show lined up for you tonight. So definitely what we're going to do now, we're going to kick our intro and we'll be right back. And shout out to our guy. Shout out to our guy, Kirk Cousins. Yes, we like that. But in episode 2 of Quaterback, pissed me off.
Why?
Pissed me off. Like, because that's what they, Kirk Cousins came back.
Right.
Yeah, that BS win against us. They shouldn't have had no business winning that football game. But for something, I ain't put no names out who did it, but that's my guy. But at the same token, they shouldn't have won that football game. And I loved episode 2 until that final part. Like Patrick Mahomes, he was able to, go back to Texas A&M. Marcus Mariota went back to Pacific Northwest.
Right.
Then that damn Kirk Cousins went back to Washington and snuck that win against us.
Right,
man. But yeah, but shout out to Kirk though. It's no love lost, man. That's my guy.
Yeah, man. The show make this. We'll talk about that later, though.
But shout out to Kirk Cousins and yeah.
Man, go ahead. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. So once again, great show lineup for you tonight. So, first topic I want to discuss is we're going to actually talk about this. I always use the word robust, but this is an unrobust running back, situation that's going on in the National Football League. So, Saquon Barkley and the other 3 running backs, I kind of lumped them all together. You had Saquon, Josh Jacobs, and Tony Pollard. Essentially, those guys were franchise tags. So basically, with franchise tag, you get the cumulative average of the 5 best players in your position. You get, so in other words, how they would get paid $10.1 million, and that's gonna be a fully guaranteed contract, but it's only for 1 year. So these 3 guys were looking for a long-term deal. The deadline was on Monday. I think it was Monday. And notably, Saquon Barkley and these other 3 did not get a long-term deal. So they are pretty much on a 1-year deal. And even there's been reports saying, essentially Saquon Barkley is going to potentially hold out. There's even potential rumors that he may even sit out for the year, a la Le'Veon Bell. Right. So your thoughts on just what has this NFL running back market has become.
I mean, like you said, Le'Veon went through the same thing, and I was upset because we was one of the most exciting teams in the league, and I think that was the year that we would have got that bowl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Le'Veon was at the top, Ben was at the top, defense was at the top, Antonio Brown was at the top. Like, it was just a lot going on that year, and I was on the team and being a fan of the team side until Le'Veon said, "Look, man, I'm the top running back in TDs, yards. I'm the top running back, even receiver. He was like in the top 5 or top 6 of, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, he said, I'm just trying to make a market. And it's funny, he said he was trying to make a market that I should get paid this after they done tagged him and did this and that. And look at where we're at right now. Like, when you put this up, and I really got to look, and I'm like, wow. They basically saying they really don't want to play these guys, and they would want to get what they can get from you, and then they would rather sign some rookie with fresh legs, you know what I mean, and rather let you go to another team and you'll be like damaged goods. That's crazy. And that's just how I feel about it. Like, it's nothing you can do. Like they say, the average running back makes 1.8 million, and the average kicker is making like 2.3 or something like that. It's funny because it seems like society is being that way, where the running back is really the worker. You know what I mean? It's really the plower of the offense. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you basically saying that it's being devalued. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, and that's what it is, and that's the thing that's crazy about all this. And it's funny where it kind of coincided, kind of like what's going on, like with the actors and the writers' strike, where
Yep.
you're looking at it where they, it's the establishment versus the actual the works, the guys who are actually working. Um, to me, it's just a sign of the times. I think this is one of those where it is kind of one of the things, and it's so many analogies I can look at about as far as the current state of running backs. But to me, I think the perfect example is like, think about a bus. There's always a bus that always will come every 15 minutes. You can sit at a bus stop and a bus will come every 15 minutes. Right. And I think the same thing is going to be with this running back position, especially when you look at, you can look at you when we think, and that's what I'm kind of glad we talked about the three guys, kind of lumped them in because they were a big chunk of their team's success offensively. So now you think about other teams that have gone through those type of situations where you've had, pretty much that, because now with a running back room, you got 3 or 4 guys that pretty much can that are doing it by committee. We're done with those, like kind of that bell cow, type of franchise running back that they grew accustomed to other paths. So I think now it's one of those where you literally can almost get anyone on the street. Because I think even somebody, I think it might have even been Brady Quinn or might have been LeVar Arrington was saying pretty much, you guys can go on a strike or you guys can do all the type of stuff and hold out, but there's still going to be some hungry running backs in these other leagues that'll come in and take their spot. Yeah.
They haven't even changed any rules to basically even somewhat protect the running back. There's, you know what I mean? It seemed like the receivers, the quarterback, another offensive situations or players or positions have been protected, and it seemed like the running back is still the same thing. They still getting beat with low the waist, the legs, they and different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And sad thing about it is this won't be resolved until there's a new CBA, and this is where I think if coming in next year, Lloyd Howell will come in as the be the leader of the players union. He needs to be that should be one of his, from the running back perspective. Hey, that's to be something that they should reach out to him and hey, let's see if we can put this on a new CBA. Even though they just signed one maybe a few years ago, so it's only going to be until a new CBA. But now you just look at how the league is; it's a passing league, and now you look at like Kansas City. You think themselves, they were probably like middle of the pack as far as their run offense. I know Tampa Bay was like ranked 20th when they won the Super Bowl. So, and even with them, you look at how they've gone through running backs. I know they drafted dude from running from LSU, Alaire. I forgot his name, but now they got a guy like Isaiah Pacheco in the seventh, I think 6th or the 7th round in 2022. And you see how he was, very, even though he scored in the Super Bowl, he was actually productive throughout the season for them. So you look at that. Oh, Clyde Edwards Helaire. That's what it is. Yeah, I made sure I didn't forget. I didn't miss that. But yeah, you look at even with Saquon, over 1,300 yards last year. And you think about to yourself, he's had the most yards for a Giants running back since 2006. So he's done something that hasn't been done in his franchise in 16 years, and he's getting franchised. So and that's just one of those things where you look at just how the state of the running backs is really bad. And I can understand that these were like middle of the pack type running backs, but these are like some premier backs. And then I knew Sunday when I think it was Joe Mixon that took a pay cut, and I knew that was another sign, a bad sign for them, as far as them getting re-signed to to at least to a long-term deal.
Right.
But yeah, I'm gonna put it this way: parents, if you are anybody who coming up and trying to make it to the NFL, don't be a running back. This is a clear example because, yeah,
when they young, that's the main thing they do is they run the ball. I think that you know what I'm saying. I think one thing that's going on right now. There's a lot of athletes that have podcasts, and I think these NFL guys, they need to start. They're not as loyal as for players as they are in the NBA. You know what I mean? Like the NBA players really be having each other's backs, even though they play that old new blah blah blah. And with this situation, this is football, and I know it's a passing league, but you still need a running back. You still need a running back, and I think those guys, they need to start speaking up because the running back is one of the premier positions, just like the quarterback. You know what I mean? When we play in Madden, we throwing the ball, but we still like to run the ball. Like, you know what I mean? But I think they need to really work together and try to figure this out because, like I said, the league really do want them to throw the ball a little bit more. Like they don't even want to kick football, to kick field goals anymore or punt.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I just it's just one of those where that position group is gonna have to, like I said, when the next CBA come up, they're gonna have this. That's the only way they're gonna be able to get this through, and that's one thing too where I don't know. Like when it comes to these NFL issues, sometimes I have somewhat of a sympathy, but then a part of me is like, y'all got to band together with the CBA. And I remember DeMaurice Smith was like saying, hey, if these things get labor intensive, hey, y'all need to, 2 years prior to, he was telling guys like, hey, save your money. Because, it's one of the things where, and the only thing with the NBA and the NFL is so different because it's the amount of people. And I think what's crazy is because on one coin, like, I know one of the biggest issues was like health insurance.
Right.
So you think to yourself, if you're a 22-year-old guy, you barely in the league, I went paycheck to paycheck in a novice sense, compared to a 30-something-year-old that know that they at the end of their road, I might do need to have health insurance past 40 because I know, so it's weird because, and the thing with that is just the range of guys. That's the only thing that sucks about the NFL because it's and that's the only thing about it. It's just if you're in different positions because a younger person not going to care about benefits that they can get when they 40s and 50s. They want that money right then and there, So,
I was watching a pod today, and it was the two brothers. I don't want to mess their name up, but the tight end for the Chiefs and his brother, right? Both of them,
the Kelsey brothers.
The Kelsey brothers. So both of them got Super Bowls, whole nine, right? And I'm sitting there like, and they like, man, he need to play. That's $10 million. Like he said, I hear he may sit out and blah blah blah, but he's like, they like, hell, that's more than what I make. And dude from the Chiefs said that, and I was like, that's crazy. He one of the top tight ends, but it's how the NFL got everything set up with positions and. If you either want to make money or you want to win a Super Bowl, or win a championship, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? But What I don't like is that he's just. It's nothing wrong for somebody to say, "Hey, man, I know my value," and then
Yeah.
you got to be open minded, and everybody's attacking him like he's selfish. And to
Yep.
me, I think the organization should be saying, no, he's not selfish. He's right. But the market is this, it's business. I would rather, the reason I'm saying that, I think he would deal with that and say, okay, that's respect. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you understand what I'm saying? Like, that's respect. If business is business.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I try to tell somebody, they in the NFL, they've been playing football their whole life. A lot of people have made money off of these guys before they even made money. I said, so you make $20 an hour at Food Line. You've been there 15 years. You're the top market manager. I said, but now they're hiring people they only been there 3 years and they make the same amount of money as you. And you
Yeah.
done been through all these different changes, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, hold up, they don't even have my experience. How do they make the same money as me? And I said, dude is feeling the same way. Y'all calling him greedy, but he ain't pushing nothing. He's saying, let's sit down and negotiate. I mean, damn, 10 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, but
that kind of proves a point where we talked about, because the teams aren't gonna give that type of, well, because they're gonna play that narrative. They're gonna play that
right,
narrative to put it in, because that's how they kind of get like the Giants fans and the thing
yeah,
about the Cowboys fans, the Raiders fans, like because $10 million, you're playing a child's game,
right,
but and that token, yeah, granted, yeah, but that's still,
not
especially when it comes to the health of the running backs, because yeah, you can get this $10 million, and this could be the last check that you can potentially get.
right,
Why not get this type of thing? Then, like you said, why they're not together? Because, like you said, if it was a together front,
right.
why would Jason, not Jason Kelly, the other one, why what's she, as far as said Jason Kelly.
What's the
No,
G?
it's the
You
other
got me
one.
good. Yeah,
Not a brother. What's Travis? Travis.
Travis.
I don't know what's going on with me today.
It's
But
okay.
yeah,
I've
so
been doing it all
Travis,
day
yeah.
too.
So you see like that type of situation with Travis saying, "Hey, I would just take it." See,
Right,
that's another thing too, where I hate when players do that, because, like you said,
right,
they should have an organized front. That just, like, look, if it was like, if you're on a united front, hey, me personally, I would take it, but I can understand where he come from. We can ride with him, but because that's usually be the problem
right.
when these guys are going for these negotiations. That's why it's best to just be quiet, let them
Yeah,
handle their own personal thing. Because
right.
luckily he's not a teammate. And then yeah, because I don't know if you said anything about Jason, and if he said something like that and he's blocking for me, he on the
Right,
offensive line, I'm like, yo, like, keep my name out your mouth. Like,
right,
don't,
right,
this
right,
this is
right,
my own personal business.
right,
See,
right.
and that's what kind of causes the rift
That's called,
on
yeah,
teams. So
because
yeah,
really, really, they could say whatever, and they wasn't being rude. They were saying that they hope they figure it out, and he does deserve what he's asking for. He's the
yeah,
lump sum of that offense. But
yeah,
this, let me say y'all this: they just gave Daniel Jones a lot of money. Barkley is way more important to that offense than Jones is, even though he's the quarterback. He makes up $10 million a quarter of that quarterback's contract. That's crazy. You know what I mean? That's
yeah,
crazy. And so, and Jones would tell you that. And he's in it, but see, he's like, man,
yeah,
he ain't top notch. So he's like, I'm just happy that I got that much money. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But they wasn't rude. He just was, and it gave me a perspective. Like, damn, you don't make more than 10 million a year, and you know how important. I no offense, but when we talk later, it's a couple of highlights where Mahomes was stinking it up, but that tight end was catching that ball, making them touchdowns. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
how you make less than that's crazy. That's crazy. They need them.
yeah,
They got to really get mature. Let's say they want to be playing stupid rookie hazing games and doing that childish stuff. That they really need to. They need to get a little more mature because they need to really start handling their business. They need to really start focusing on their future and start handling their business. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
the running back is about it's being not being valued. I cannot believe who would have ever thought that the running back
Oh
would
yeah,
be not valued in football, period. If I was the USFL and the XFL, you just got thrown something. You got thrown something. So maybe y'all should value the running back.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But to me, as you see what I have on the top of my head and what you see to my left and right of me,
Mhm.
I hope when we play them on October the 22nd, Saquon Barkley is not there. I hope he is still holding out, because at the end of the day,
Hey,
he what gets them going. Because
right.
you look at with Daniel Jones, he's a good, like Jerry Jones, until his credit,
Yeah.
he's 5-1
Decent.
and 1 against us, so he's a great
Yeah.
quarterback
Yeah.
for us
He
against
really is.
us. And I
Yeah.
think with that running, and with Saquon Barkley and that running ability, that helps him also help his run game as well. So
Mm-hmm.
October 22nd, if I have to do a birthday wish for Couch Coach Live, October 22nd, when we go to the Meadowlands, Saquon Barkley, please do not be there. Please hold out as much as you can, because I'm trying to
Jordan.
win. I'm trying to avenge.
Hey,
Avenge last year's
hey,
tie and Monday night and Sunday night football
hey,
loss.
Jordan. I hope you watching. You see what he doing, right?
No, yeah, you know. We all know. We all know. That's what
No.
we do.
Hey, man. I'm a Steeler, and that's what made me upset with because they was getting so upset because they was losing the teams that they should have won, and they was everything. They just was dogging Le'Veon, man. And Le'Veon, I remember one time he tweeted something, and I think he was coming back, and then Hayward said something. Why are y'all keep bringing his name up? He ain't here. It's people that here, and I get what he was saying, but
Yeah.
your coach don't even talk about it. Your coach was like, "Hey man, he's not here, so it's next man up. We hoping that he come. The team loves him. We're gonna respect him, and blah blah blah." And truth be
Yeah.
told, every player should be doing that when it's pertaining to your money, because even though we talking about Saquon Barkley, if you really go and look, there's a lot of players that's talking about sitting out a whole year. I'm talking about linemen. It's a
Yeah.
bunch because they're not happy
Oh
with their
yeah.
contracts.
Oh yeah. Zach Martin, please. I do not want to see you on Thanksgiving Day. You're right. I thought about Zach Martin today. Jerry, don't get him nothing. Let him sit on that bench for the whole year. I don't want to see him Thanksgiving
And
or
that
week 18.
and me personally, if I was an owner, you're not handling your business. That's what's crazy. You don't like bringing the race into it. But remember when me, you, and Jay, um, when they gave McCafferty all that money, and
Yeah,
and,
Christian
and, and,
McCaffrey.
and we was like, why they didn't even have to do it? He already had like 2 or 3 years on his contract still.
Yeah.
I think he had like 2 years left, and they still did it. We was like, why would they do that? Not saying he didn't deserve it, but I'm just saying that's what you should be. That's what you're supposed to do when
Right.
you're dealing with a monster on your team. You're not supposed to treat them that way, because the reason they get hurt, and somebody said in the NFL, it's crazy that we keep going through this every few months too. When you play for the NFL, you're going to have injuries. It is what, especially so. When I looked at his stats, it was 2020. I think it was 2020 and 2021. That's when he was low, but he right back where he was when he first started.
Yeah. Because when he's healthy, and that's why we look at San Francisco as like this, that definitely, like, no one had a problem with them that trade, because we like that's going to be somewhat the missing puzzle. We just didn't think that they would be down to a 4-string quarterback against the Philadelphia failed Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. And that's one thing too. And that's, you get it when you get it while it's hard. And Christian McCaffrey, he capitalized on that. So I gotta give him tremendous kudos for that.
Right.
Because, but yeah, I don't know about in 2023 he gonna potentially get that type of situation, but I don't know. It just depends on who your team. But the Giants think, hey, we got some other running backs, so we just gonna go ahead and just play, and let Saquon do his thing and hit a Lev Bell. I just hope he ain't leaving no valuable in his locker like Lev Bell did. They took all his stuff. That shit was crazy. I remember when they went to that man locker and took his Jordans, man. I'm like, yo, y'all fucked up for that.
I mean,
Like,
I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later. I just that was the, what's crazy?
that
That
was
was the
wild.
end of everything, bro. That was the end.
Yeah.
Like when they didn't sign, they gave AB his bread, And I bet you it was part of when they gave AB his bread. They probably said, "We gonna sign Le'Veon too." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's so
yeah, it's
crazy.
wild.
They
It's
want
so wild.
they wanted to pay Juju.
So of course we got a giant story. Now followed with a jet story, which I didn't make that up. I promise you. So the New York Jets are set to air on August with a Hard Knocks inside the New York Jets will air on August the 8th. It'll be the 18th edition of Hard Knocks. So the last time that the Jets were on Hard Knocks was in 2010, which is a very interesting weeks. Obviously, that was during the Daryl Reeves trying negotiations at the time. And even in that appearance in 2010, that net them a appearance in the AFC Championship game where your Steelers did beat them in the AFC Championship on their way to Dallas that year. And you know, unfortunately, what happened in that situation, we'll leave that portion of it alone. So there's a caveat with this situation with the Jets this season. So we're not going to get as much access as we've been privy to in the last, the last 17 seasons, where essentially we will not be seeing guys getting cut. So the Jets pretty much said that the Jets don't believe it's humane to show players being released. So, your thoughts on this new season of Hard Knocks and the limited access that we will get. And yeah,
It's the times. So, from what I was hearing, they was having a hard time trying to get a team to be on Hard Knocks this year, right?
yep,
What is the Texans doing? Like, man, come on now. How you gonna turn something down? Like,
yeah, because I think the Texans, because I think you can't have a new head coach, and you have to have a losing season the previous year, and I think what's the other criteria? Because I think with their new head coach, they couldn't make it because they thought about. I think you had to at least make the playoffs within the last 2 years or something like that. It's some criteria to it,
that's
but
it's
yeah,
just too much, man. See, that's what I'm saying. Hard Knocks done hit that plateau, and now it's about to make its way down, and everybody gonna be looking to watch the next show, which we gonna talk about it later because
yeah,
the whole reason I'm having Hard Knocks is it is inhumane. It is the down part of the of the of the show. But guess what? It's part of the league. It's really some people. That's why they watch it. You know what I'm saying? You want to see certain players that you think will make it, or this, and that. But it's all part of it, and it also helps the young. You know what I'm saying? Like getting cut is part of making any sports team.
yeah.
So I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Some people may, some people probably rude enough just to watch it so they can see who get cut. You know what I mean? I don't understand it. That to me that takes from the show. Have you watched it? Any of them?
Well, Hard Knocks.
It ain't been on yet, right?
Well, I haven't seen. Yeah, this one don't debut August 8th. But oh yeah,
Okay,
I watch Hard Knocks religiously.
right,
Like I
right.
think, I really started taking it like as far as like it being like must see TVs when the Jets was on in 2010. Um, I I'm excited for it. I mean, to
You
be
really
honest
are?
with you, yeah, I think I think the personalities. I think I want to see. Obviously Aaron Rodgers,
Right,
how he's going to mesh with this young group. Then of
right.
course our guy Mekhi Becton, 15 South Oak,
Of
former
course.
Highland Springs great. Good, it'd be good to see him coming off of bouncing off an injury, coming back from off an injury, and see how he's going to be looking. And I know he has a great personality, so hopefully they will be able to to capture his personality there as well. I just think the whole thing with the not having the access to like getting cut, like because usually how it's set up, you pretty much know for the this is like every football team, pretty much about I say about 45, maybe about I say, there's probably about 10 guys on each team, or probably less, just depends, that are on the fringe. And like, okay, they're gonna show them, and because every week is gonna kind of be a
Right,
build up. Okay, this person did a
right,
great job in this
right.
game. Then like, okay, I think he's safe. But
Right.
then it's like, then at the season finale when they cut, when they made the final cut, I don't know, it ain't 53 no more, but
Right.
when it was cut to 53, you're like, oh no, he got cut like that. But and then those are like to me like the favorite moments, and I hate to say this out loud, but when Vontae Davis got traded. This is when the Dolphins had Hard Knocks, and
Right.
Vontae Davis came off a great year. And I love Vontae and Vernon as well. They my guys. But when he got traded, and you just look how shocked he was, and then he wanted to call his grandmother, and they like, well, I don't know if we're gonna have enough time for you to call your grandmother, Vernon. Like I mean not Vernon, but Vontae.
Right.
And it was wild. Like, I mean, that you sit down, you think to yourself, yo, this actually literally happened in real life. Like,
Right.
it's like it was so bizarre to me. But just a lot of that, and then you just seeing guys who, and and like you said, it is in a sense kind of inhumane. But it's a lot of stuff that we watch in life that's inhumane. This necessarily isn't. So I do. I don't like the fact that we're not gonna be able to see that, because I think that adds that build up, because you're like, oh, this person, he's gonna make it. He gonna make it. It's almost like I want to put money on it,
Right.
and then it's just like, oh,
It's
a deflating feeling.
it goes with what we were talking about in the first segment. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a business. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
everybody's fighting to get that position, to get on the team, and some of them done messed up, or some of them did get drafted, some of them been redshirted, and some of them was just on special teams, so they're trying to. And those are all different stories on every NFL team, and that's why you watch it. Again, why you watch it, you pushing for those players to make it. That's the main story of Hard Knocks. Yeah, there's some other ones, like when Cleveland and what's your man when Cleveland was 0-1, they went into the lake, and you know what I mean. Did all that when the Browns did all that. Yeah, there's other stuff that's added to it. When the Bengals, I remember that, and AB coming in on you know what I mean. It's other stuff, but hey man, stop it! Stop dogging my boy, B.
No, man, dude, like that's another one. That was getting on my nerves like every week.
That
I'm
dude
like,
he would not practice. He was like, man, something wrong with my helmet.
That's when I knew. I was like, yo, they gonna get rid of him. Because it was one thing out of the other, and I'm just like, yo, what is going on with this dude? This dude is wilding.
You taste this drink? What kind is that? That watermelon? It's delicious, man. Oh man, mix the watermelon with the raspberry. I was like, man. But I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
Though that's like the main story of watching Hard Knocks. So, but at the same time, I'm very intrigued. I would like to see how they're going to do with this one, since they're not doing it. What storylines are they really going to try to put together besides Aaron Rodgers being with these younger guys?
Yeah, and then we got Sauce Gardner. Yeah, a lot of good young talent, like as far as with the Jets. So it's definitely going to see how this almost nearly 40-year-old quarterback mesh with these young guys. It's almost like old versus new. So it's going to be definitely interesting. I think they should
have went to Denver.
I think Denver, they got a new head coach. That's what because they were forced. Yeah. They forced, and that's because everybody kept on saying it should be Washington, but they're not gonna do Washington because they don't even have an owner. I mean, they have an owner, but he's out the door. So it's So yeah, I mean, pretty much. Even though we knew like a month ago that the Jets was gonna be, pretty much gonna be the team, but it's almost like, hey. I wouldn't say they were forced, but I mean, ain't nobody really else. Because I think you couldn't have been on Hard Knocks like the last 10 years too.
Ain't there another one during the season?
Yeah. Because I think last year was it Arizona?
It was Arizona.
Colts. Okay.
It was the Colts. Last year the first one was the Colts.
Colts,
the second one was the Cardinals.
Oh, and that was abysmal. I guess I'm falling during the season because like I'm so entrenched with what's going on with Washington, like I can care less.
Right.
But yeah, but in the season one is interesting as well. But yeah, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I definitely want to, they'll make something out of it.
I cannot believe they're not
But
gonna have it. You think they did that because of the what happened with the USFL when they cut that dude?
no, I think the Jets did that because honestly, to be spiteful, because they didn't want to be on Hard Knocks.
Right,
Most teams don't even want to be on Hard Knocks. But
right.
that was funny. That dude, just because that man wanted, because we talked about that on the show one time, because he wanted pizza instead of chicken salad. I was
Right.
just like, bro, like y'all really cut this man because he wanted a slice of
You
pizza.
so petty.
I know. I'm like, we all get cut. Like, I mean, chicken salad is good, but it depends on who you get it from.
Right. Who making it?
Who making it? Like, yeah, because that'd be my first reservation. Who made the chicken salad? So I would have got cut. I knew I would have got cut for sure. They like, hey, take your tail back to Richmond. I'm gonna give you a one-way bus ticket back to Richmond. All right, but I'm gonna get my pizza though.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So yeah, man, that was so bizarre. I remember when that happened. I was like, you cannot be serious. Like, you cannot. Because we thought it was fake.
Yeah, and see stuff like that. Like they all supposed to be professionals, and they all should have their own diet. You know what I mean?
Right.
So why can't they get their own food, even though y'all providing them food?
Right.
And, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
because
this USFL, bro.
I know. I'm just saying in general. Like, damn, you go to Little Caesars, get you a little $5 pizza. Like, you know what I mean?
Right, but right, I'm just like
Marco's one topic is $6.99.
It's like, right, because it wasn't like he was asking for something that was like something that exquisite, like something that's like he didn't ask for no golden, no 24-karat chicken wings. Something that it's hard for you to find. Dude, it's pizza. Like it's like,
Right.
And all he did, he just wanted to slice somebody else's pizza, a whole pizza pie. He just wanted a slice of it. But I'm just like, it's ridiculous, man. I swear.
Make my head hurt, man.
I swear, I thought that was fake. I kid you not, I thought that was fake. When I first heard that, I was like, there's no way this man got cut because he wanted a slice of pizza.
Right.
The world has gone mad. But
and the coach thought that, he probably was going to get, oh, man, that's crazy. That's right. He should be eating no pizza. They was like, he couldn't. I cut him because he
right. And they want right, and it wasn't a health thing because chicken salad is loaded with mayonnaise.
Right.
Like it's
totally you can't eat everybody's chicken salad, man.
You can't. I don't care who you are.
I'm saying, man, ain't you black? You know you can't eat everybody's potato salad.
To me, I'm like, look, do you have any pets? Do you have a cat? Like, cause I'm telling you, cause it's fine things in that chicken salad that I don't know if that's some onion or some hell,
Yeah, my cat, man. Cats is picky. They'll let you know, like, nah.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I don't think you should eat it either.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, and do you have any?
Don't let it be an ignorant cat. They'll smack it.
Right. And it's like, I'm kind of like, okay, how they upkeep their house? Is do they got a white stove? Is it clean? Is it clean white stove? What kind of stove they got? How their refrigerator look? Is it clean?
But I ain't gonna front though.
Yeah.
Somebody make it just right, boy. You be like, man, I want some. Yeah, they make it right.
Right. Do they got Arm & Hammer, baking soda in their refrigerator to deodorize the smells? I'm telling you, here's some questions when it comes to like this type of stuff. I'm like, hey man, I'm not playing. Like pizza, simple. Your oven clean? How your racks looking? All right, cool. Because the germs gonna be in that stove. It's gonna kill everything. Put that thing on 375 for about 20 minutes, or however long.
Right.
Or it kill everything. You ain't gotta worry about. I don't care about your refrigerator or anything. At that point,
I was just telling somebody about that. I said, bro, I took this chick's house and I went and looked at her stove and I looked at her. I'm like, yeah, you know better that your stove should not look like this. You got corn. Do you know how easy it is to clean a stove?
Extremely.
I could not believe that. I was like, you can take these off right here and you just wipe and you lift this up and you just wipe. Oh man, and I shouldn't even, I'm not trying to not to judge, but I was just like, Wow.
because they judge us.
B.
So
Wow.
yeah, hey, it is what it is. Hey man, that sometimes that be a deal breaker or so. But it is what it is. So we gotta talk about this new series, Netflix Quarterback. So Quarterback is definitely a very interesting series that's on Netflix now. I think I threw episode 2, I'm a little bit of episode 3. So this is chronicling this is pretty much the season for Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes won the Super Bowl. Kirk Cousins had pretty much one of his best seasons in his career, and then you had Marcus Mariota, pretty much the journeyman quarterback that essentially got benched for Desmond Ritter, not to be confused with somebody else famous last name. And shout out to her for retweeting that. So we always got love for Brittany Renner. So, do that one time for her. So, with this season, Netflix Quarterback. So, we obviously, more likely, we'll have a season 2. We're hoping. So, and pretty much staying with the criteria as far as you got a high tier quarterback and Marcus Mahomes. Wow. Patrick Mahomes is your height. You had that middle tier guy like a Kirk Cousins, who's really the epitome of what middle of the pack.
Right.
And then you had like a lower quarterback in Marcus Mariota. So based on that criteria, who would be your 3 quarterback that you want to see in season 2 of Quarterback if we have one?
I might mess up names, man. I'm just gonna say teams. The Buffalo Bills quarterback.
Josh Allen. Okay.
Josh Allen. I want to say the Seahawks quarterback.
Geno Smith. Okay.
Geno Smith. I want to put him in the middle. I don't want to put him low because I think he had a great season.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one. Let me think. The Colts quarterback. The guy that used to play for isn't that quarterback the same dude they used to play for the Rams?
Well, because let's see, because the Colts supposed to be.
I got it.
I guess
the Bears coach, the Bears quarterback.
Justin Fields. Okay.
Yeah. I reached there. I seen what you were doing, and I had it, but I got one. I'm gonna tell you another one that I had. That I not like that. I'm gonna tell you one more, and it was gonna be Lamar, the Eagles quarterback, and Kyle Murray, because I feel like all 3 of them is. I feel like Lamar is in the middle, but he's still above the Eagles quarterback because of who Lamar is. You know what I'm saying? With MVP, blah blah blah. But everybody's saying Hurts, but I think Lamar's still better, and I think Kyle Murray is. I think this year he needs to do something. I don't think if he does, he's gonna be like the dude from Miami.
Yeah, but he gonna be out, so that's another thing too. He gonna be out for probably the bulk of the season next year.
Who, Kyle Murray?
So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he's done.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. And that year, next year gonna be interesting for Kyle Murray if he can at least come back at some point in the season. And
wait, what happened? I ain't seen nothing about that.
I think I think he tore his ACL. I want to say like towards the end of the year.
I don't.
Yeah, he tore his ACL. It happened. I think like either November or December. He's out. He's out to start the season. Even though people say he should be ready, but I don't think he's gonna be 100%.
But they got a new coach and all types of.
Yeah, they got a new head coach. Yep.
That's crazy.
They got Gannon, the old defense coordinator from
San Francisco.
Philly.
Oh,
yeah.
Texans head coach is from San Francisco, right?
Yeah, D'Amico Ryans. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So mine's my high to be Joe Burrow. I think with Joe Burrow, considering the fact he's coming off the last 2 AFC Championship games, Can he lead this team, to another, to another Super Bowl berth? So and then obviously the epic battles with Patrick Mahomes, because it looked like we back at it again. Probably gonna see them, those two teams in the AFC Championship game probably once again for their third year in a row. I look at that. That's the one. My mid guys could be Jared Goff. I think with the success of Detroit last year, obviously, kind of making that late season push. And then you look at Detroit, where this could potentially be a historic season for the Detroit Lions, because if they have a legitimate shot to win their first ever division title since 1993. So if he could do that, he'll pull off, one of the most historic runs for in Detroit's, at least this century. So I think, he has a legitimate shot to have somewhat of a memorable year in Detroit. And then part of my bias, but this is what we do here for me specifically. My lower tier quarterback is gonna be Sam Howell. I think him being that first year, it's the first year, but this is his first year being a starter in the league. I know he's gonna be going through a lot of adversity. Then now you couple with Eric Bieniemy as your offensive coordinator. Then other things is going on, the sale of this team, and just everything that's going to be going on with the season, because the season's going to be somewhat turbulence for Sam Howell. But I really kind of want to see how he handles that, like from a day-to-day perspective, like how he'll take losses, how he'll take wins. So it'll be definitely interesting, and plus just to see him in a different light. I think a lot of people, and I think more so, I think people see him a lot more, and I think the world really needs to kind of see what Sam Howell's really all about. So I think having on a stage like a Netflix will be, and like you said, like I said, this could be and I think this could be somewhat of a successful season for Sam Howell as well. So, it'll be definitely the trio that I would go for, because we need that. We need a season 2. I think we need this every year.
This is a really good show. Like
I love
it. Today I sat down and I watched 2 episodes. And I love how they edited each thing. Like the show make you like these 3 quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? Like it show you like Patrick Mahomes is really a wild a firecracker. Like he's really a wild dude. Like he really is. And it lets you understand how good of a coach Andy Reid really is. You know what I'm saying? But and he is a bad boy. And he said, I'm really playing. He was like, man, I'm really playing baseball. Like he said, a lot of stuff I'll be doing because I was the shortstop. And I loved how they all went back to their colleges. Like they went through the season, and then they gave you ups and downs, and then they gave you where there was a place where they can they got rejuvenated. You know what I mean? And like for instance, your boy can sing. Like I was tripping off of that.
Oh yes, that was so funny. That was so funny. I was dying laughing off of that, yo. I could it was so funny.
And to me, he seems such a lame, but he really isn't. That's the beauty of watching docu-series like this. Like, and then he also values playing football. You know what I'm saying? And like he showed this little trap room, and he's so respectful. You could tell why he's at where he's at. Like when they had RG3, he was the perfect quarterback to come up behind him, because he was like, man, I got my memory room. He said, I wanted to hide it because I didn't want it all out and blah, blah, blah. And then you went in there and you just see like everything is a story. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he was like, man, my flag football team coach was Michael Singletary. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just stuff like that. And then you know why I'm gonna tell you, that's why I wanted to tell you too, man. Y'all the greatest fans. I feel like y'all the most respectful and greatest fans. Like y'all talk y'all trash, but y'all do it in a funful way. It's not annoying, and y'all respect everybody that played for y'all team. My team is not like that. My team, I love my team, the Steelers, but they could be so hateful and dirty and arrogant that it almost come off, and they'll almost come up. Sometimes it almost come off like they very racist too. I'm not even gonna lie. You know what I mean? and you love this, you love your team. Y'all not like that, B. Like
Yeah.
the respect when he, even though he won, they went back and showed the greatest comeback ever in
Mm-hmm.
Washington's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
shout out to your boy Coach because it's in the intro. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And I was like, that's what's up. And then the greatest thing about that is because he was getting treated so bad and dogged because I remember back in 13 the way everybody loved RG3 and the way y'all walked around,
Yeah.
going to training camp, and for him to get treated a certain way, and then he stepped up and won, and then so like how important it was 5 years later to go play there with the against the Commanders, and how the how Minnesota came to the game, and how the Commander fans cheered him off even though they won. He won, they lost, they still
Yeah.
cheered him on, and his wife showed up. And it's really a good show, man. Even what's his name, Mariotti, what's his name?
Yeah. Marcus Mariota. Yeah.
Like even
Mm-hmm.
him, like his ups and downs, it gives you that could have easily been Kirk Cousins too. That's what's crazy. That could
Yeah.
have easily been Kirk Cousins. So it's a really good show. It's a really
Yeah.
good show.
And I think they had a great pairing of the three.
Yeah.
Because then you think about it from a cumulative standpoint, the guy who came out with the most fanfare was Marcus Mariota. He was a
Mm-hmm.
Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, the
Right.
number 2 overall pick in the 2015 draft. And you
Right.
think to yourself, Kirk Cousins was a 4th-round pick, and he was behind RG3 at the
Y'all
time, and then
Savior.
even Patrick Mahomes, where people looked at they was crazy for trading up to get Patrick Mahomes because at that time he was a good quarterback, but everybody would tell you he was a good quarterback at Texas Tech, but I don't think no one envisioned the success that he would have in Kansas City. But another person who I really like I said with Kirk, that's one thing I like because Kirk's always a guy that you can root for. Like even hearing them at press conference week in and week out, even when he was with us, it's like you can't hate a guy like a Kirk Cousins. Like even
Mm-hmm.
even he'll piss you off, but it's almost like he'll just say stuff, and it's just like, you know what? I really just like how he talks. I just like how he carry himself. And then I think another person who I really, really love, like I really have I'm really fond of, Brittany Mahomes. I think she has really matured because I remember when she
Yeah.
came to FedEx,
Right.
I was like, all right, now
Right.
you lay off the tweets,
Yeah.
lay off this whole thing about they doing something to
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
husband.
Yeah.
So she has really like matured, and I think you could just see that. So I love it. I cannot wait to finish the last 6 episodes of it. But how
Go ahead. Go ahead.
no
I
you go.
mean, the other thing is, we were just talking about Hard Knocks, and I think Hard Knocks is still going to have this, but for Patrick Mahomes, like in Crosby with the Raiders, and then you know what I'm saying. Did you see that part where he was like, man, they kept
Yeah.
landing
Mm-hmm.
on him, they was beating him up,
Yeah.
and the same with
Yep.
Kirk Cousins,
Yeah.
they be popping Kirk Cousins, man.
Oh
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah. That's
And Patrick Mahomes was like, okay, dude, all right, man, you ain't have to punch me though. He
yeah.
said it while he was like, man,
Yeah.
he whatever he do, he keep touching me. He had to touch me or he hold my arm, and I like that. That get It's perfect timing now because now I'm starting to say I'm getting ready for football. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
Mm-hmm.
they put that little bit in. I thought that was it. Then like Mariota's fumbling, fumbling the damn,
Yeah.
you know.
And that's one too where you look at what Marcus Mariota is just showing you the struggles,
Right.
being and you kind of forget how the Falcons started this season where they literally could have been undefeated. I know, especially in that Rams game, they definitely had a legitimate shot to win that game. Then they ended up bouncing back and playing Seattle and winning that game, which is it's just weird like how everything kind of comes into fruition, but and it's something where, and I thought Marcus Mariota was going to have somewhat of a better season as well too. So I think, especially him being reunited with Arthur Smith, I thought that was going to be a good thing. But I think even though they would draft Desmond Ritter, that he was going to be Mariota was going to be the stopgap. So I think this is just the best pairing. But like I said,
Right.
I think the thing with the key thing about with Brittany Mahomes. I just definitely like her maturity at this
Mm-hmm.
point. She's just very supportive for him, and yeah, it's a great thing to see. I think that's one thing that's weird because I was like, here we go with Brittany Mahomes, but she's great. She's great, and
Do you, do you think
so yeah.
that might have came from her just them losing the Super Bowl and all those things, and kind of humbled them up a little bit?
Well, even she's even said it where she's realized some certain things that she can't she can share, she can celebrate stuff in private. Like
Right.
she even talked about her, because they even showed her like when she was in the booth and
Mm-hmm.
she's spraying stuff all over the crowd and stuff. She's like those type of moments. Hey, you know they can be celebrated in different ways. So
Right.
yeah, and that showed me like that spoke volumes to me. Like
Right.
she gets it. So yeah, I'm definitely like I said, I'm looking forward to the looking at the rest of these. But yeah, I definitely. But season two, we gotta have that trio. We gotta have that
Right.
trio
Right.
because But yeah. But yeah, that homecoming, that Kirk Cousins homecoming, yeah, that was a little rough.
You could
But
tell he was hurt that he left, and
yeah,
I think his
yeah.
wife painted the picture perfectly
Mm-hmm.
because she was like, we met there or something. I don't know. If she said
Yep.
we got married there. She said we had our child there, and you could just see that that's where they started building their life at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just to be there, because I think she knew it must really hurt them to leave that area. B. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, dude, he got Saquon Barkley like twice. Like he got franchise like twice. So yeah, I mean, and that's one thing. And then the fact that we traded for Alex Smith, which is like it's almost like and in hindsight, it sounds crazy, but it made sense at that particular time. We didn't envision, you know, Alex Smith getting hurt the very next year, pretty much almost having pretty much a career-ending injury, essentially. I know he came back in 2020, but obviously he wasn't 100%. But yeah, yeah, and I think with Kirk, I think he wanted to have a future here, but I think it's one of those where you know at that time the way we were playing and though not leading us to the playoffs, those things where that 2015 year was magical, but that never translated in 16 or 17. But
You
you
think it
know,
might have been the owner kind of fucking shit up?
I mean, somewhat, but not. I mean, the only thing with our team is the continuity. Like that's why, like, a part of me is like, because I think he would have been good because he was good because at 15 we had Jay Gruden.
That's what
Even
I was
with
gonna get to
because you
too.
think about but even when we had Shanahan, he played when RG3 got hurt. He played against Cleveland. He did a great job against Cleveland, and we won that football game. So it was really the continuity, and I think because he was because Kevin O'Connell was there with him as well that his final year. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, 'cause especially now when you look at how the team has been the last pretty much since he's left, we've I mean, you think about Alex Smith is like the last like as far as quarterback play that we've had that has
Right,
been pretty good.
right,
But other than that, and then that guy, and then he gets that devastating knee injury, and and then we've had bad quarterback play ever since,
right,
and just a litany of quarterbacks, a laundry list of quarterbacks from Mark Sanchez, Josh Johnson,
right.
Gilbert, Garrett Gilbert, Taylor Heineke. Who else has been our quarterback? I mean, we had so many quarterbacks. The
Hey
late
man,
great Dwayne Haskins, the late great Dwayne Haskins.
stop dogging
God
Tyler
rest his
Heineke.
soul.
He played his heart out for them.
No, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, I mean, he was all right.
Campbell,
He was good, huh?
Campbell.
But Jace Campbell was like in 2000 like
I know I'm
9 or
messing with
10.
you.
Yeah, but
I'm
yeah.
messing with you.
But as far as the quarterback play, but yeah, I mean, Taylor Heineke was good. I mean, you got to think about it. He was undrafted for a reason. Like so for him to become a starting quarterback, especially in the way he is done, because I
Right,
want him to be the backup, but obviously, He's in Atlanta, so that's gonna be. It'll be good to see him in October on October the 15th. Good to see Taylor Hannigan when we play the Falcons. So
Right.
yeah, we'll see Taylor. But yeah, man. So
But yeah, man, like y'all deserve it though, man. Like y'all some great. I'm telling you, B, y'all don't never say nothing negative about a lot of y'all. I mean, unless y'all pay a player that too much money, like you'll talk about Dion or you'll talk about who else you talk about. You pay a lot
yeah.
of money to. Okay.
Yeah, with Deion was little. Yeah, there's a lot of guys like
Talk about
Albert
Clark.
Hainsworth.
Oh,
Albert
Albert.
Hainsworth.
Ooh, yeah, I remember that
Yeah,
one.
but
Wow.
but then a part of me, I don't know, because a part of me is like the stuff that Shanahan was doing with him is like it's kind of like it's low key petty. Like he had him do it like a physical test. Like he had him run certain like I forgot he had him doing like a physical test, and I thought that was petty. But then a part of me is like I kind of get it. But but that's Mike Shanahan. So that's how he roll. Sometimes he do some stuff that's a little weird, but
Yeah.
But shout out to Albert Hainsworth though. He got his money.
What about Ryan Clark?
I like Ryan Clark. I
So,
was mad. I was mad that that he went to Pittsburgh.
what about
He was
Antoine
good.
Languel?
We overpaid for him, but he was good though. I mean, he was all right.
Yes, sir.
We overpaid him for sure because he was coming off that Super Bowl year where I think the Bears was gonna give him. I forgot, but we ended up paying him like $19 million. I think we paid him a way more than the market value. But he was. I mean, he was all right. He was solid, and in the years he was here.
And then he came back. Didn't he get 2 Super Bowls? Didn't he come back and got and won another Super Bowl?
I don't know if he. I think he might have went back to Pittsburgh.
I think he won that one with. I think he won that one with Bill Cowher. Then he came back
Oh, 5, yeah.
and won that one against the Cardinals. I think. Because I think what I remember is I think everybody was nervous or something like that, and I was like Antoine was like, nah. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong though.
Because I think Antoine, because Randy L was there, I think, in the Gibbs year, so he had to have been there. So he might have came after that first Super Bowl, the one in Detroit when y'all beat Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think he was around in the Joe Gibbs era, so yeah, and Jim Zorn, I think Jim Zorn era as well too, I think. So he had to been, he was around. Because it's funny how now all these years rolling together. So you're like, okay, what era was he a part of? Was he a part of the? That's weird. Like that's one thing. That's all. Like especially when it comes to okay, what year did they play? Okay, that was when Shanahan was the coach. Jim Zorn was the coach. It's weird, but that's how.
I know he won. I know he won when Kyle was there because they did that. Because he was a quarterback in college.
Yep.
And they did that. They did that. That play. You know what I mean? And he threw. Right.
Yeah, that's why he got that money. That was the money play.
Right.
Yeah, man, it's wild, but yeah, it is what it is.
Right.
So, got here. So obviously today is somewhat of well, not somewhat. It is a special day.
Happy birthday.
100%. Yeah. So the show debuted. We talked about it a little earlier. So the show debuted this day 9 years ago today, actually on a Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. At the time we were on an internet radio station called 1011 FM. Definitely huge shout out to the GOAT folks, Tech, Roney, B Sounds, and all those guys at 101.1 FM. I always got love for my folks. So we started the journey. Probably, where I'm currently at, about 10 blocks away in the financial district down in downtown Richmond. So the show is definitely has morphed. It's been in so many different phases. Obviously, doing at the time internet radio before this podcasting phenomenon was around. We used to have segmented breaks, this, that, and third, all the old school. Then that morphed into other realms where now it's a podcast version of the show. So 9 years in, what's your just your thoughts on this Couch Coach Live experience?
I mean, man, I've been this way since I was a kid. Like, I wanted to DJ, and I had a couple buddies of mine that could DJ. They used to let me come over just DJ. So
Mhm.
like, I met people that been in those that produce and this and that, and I believed in them. You know what I'm saying? And so when I met you, and you got everything, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got the cups, hats, t-shirts. You set up the show and this and that, and I was like, and you looking at me like, man, I need co-host, and I was like, oh, I'm riding with you, and I've been riding
Yeah.
with you ever since. And I look like it's one of the biggest, most consistent, happy places that I have in my life. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I don't even watch sports as much, but just because of the show, I watch sports as much. You know what I mean? And then I
Yeah.
get into the mode of it. And man, so many great memories. Lemon pepper wings.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? The $2,000 Uber.
Yeah.
um,
Sean Jalen Rose.
um, our top fives.
Yeah.
You know, man, I can't believe I'm getting blank because there's been so many. The shows with Chip. Definitely
Yeah.
Mr. Rufino.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, man. Like, I was thinking about the '85 South show, and I was like, I remember I used to watch every Friday, and then I remember when Nipsey Hussle passed, and they found out on the show, and then I was like, damn, when we went through 2020 together, and we was talking about George Floyd, and we was talking about different things, and then, you know, dealing with Colin Kaepernick and all these different things
Yeah.
that was going on outside of sports and in sports, man. We talked about, just giving our different perspectives. So it's been great, man, to me. Like, when we was on the show, like, y'all can go on YouTube, check us out when we was on
Yeah. No, right.
TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just, I have no bad memories, man. Like, I have, it's really, 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 it's been so many, man. Like, it's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is definitely interesting, like you said, as far as everything things have been, have in this last 9 years. I think it's so many different memories. I mean, obviously, I think um, doing the live remotes, I thought those were great. Definitely, shout out to good folks at Ironclad.
Yeah,
We
that
had
was
those moments, and then and then shout out to Marcus,
yeah,
Lexi, and that radio for kind of putting us in that position, giving us the opportunity to actually do
right,
like live remote. So I think I love those. I think just as far as just having people around to be in that experience. I
right,
think beat that live thing was like, to me, it was like by far the best experience. Obviously, I know we did it in September 2017. I know that's when
right.
my uncles came. A
Yeah,
lot of legacy in that radio contingent. Our people from there came on that first one. The second one was in November, the day after Thanksgiving. That's when my mom, my aunt, and my cousin from
right.
Charlotte came down. She brought her son and her family down there. So then there's one in January, nobody came. I understand because it was like the coldest day. I felt like the coldest day in the
Right.
history of Richmond that night. And we were right by that window. I mean, by the door, and I'm like, oh, somebody come in here, it's gonna be a war. Cause like it's too damn cold for this. But it was crazy. That's when we had Antoine. Shout out to Antoine,
Yeah,
Coach
Antoine came.
Antoine.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So he came and we chopped it up. We talked about football and all that. And then even the one that we had the Super Bowl, even though we did we didn't have the live remote because we had some technical
right.
issues. But that's the thing, with that that we did, it was able to to look at the Super Bowl. We actually posed for the Super Bowl championship, the Super Bowl trophy, and that was the Ravens Super Bowl when they beat the Giants in
Mm,
in Tampa Bay. But yeah, it's so many great moments. I think that's the thing about it. Like you said, it's every phase, and I think that's the thing I loved about the journey is there's been levels. There's been levels of the ups and downs and everything. As far as just everything is concerned. But it was great. I mean, obviously the first couple of years when I was at 1011, the fan was great. In short time I was at repping VA radio at the time. That was 2015. That was good experience. We then went back to 1011 FM, and then I think the legacy one. I think it was really special to me. I think that that 2017 because we was around a group of people.
Right.
There were and it's no knock on the other two networks that I were on previously, but I think how it was done with 1011 and Family Rep V8, they had shows, but we never intertwined with each other. I think that's I think that was kind of the thing where when we went to Legacy, it was more like a community thing. I think that's where it kind of helped. That's how we met and with those things. So and then I think a lot of it too, because there was a lot of moments even in that Legacy period where I wanted to quit, but it's weird, like how I got pulled into certain things with the station that made me like, you know what, I need to stay around. I need to, be around. So that's why, like, when I used to get discouraged. And shout out to to Big Rube. Here's another one where I look at, he had a Sunday show. Hey man, after swing by, you want me to produce your show? He's like, yeah, come on, come on back, come through. He was always, always willing, to always show me the ropes. And and just be there, and then also in shout out to Mark as well too, because especially like I remember one time I really got discouraged. I was almost to a point where I was gonna give him, because at the time we had I had a 6-month contract, and like the first month I was ready to quit. I was about to give at the time. I think I had maybe like $900 left on that contract. I like, Marcus, I'm gonna write you a check for $900. Because I got so discouraged about just radio and all that. I was just ready to just like quit. But yeah,
what
I got you.
Okay.
I'm losing that. Okay. No, I think it's because at the time it was the beginning of it. I feel like I kind of just grew frustrated with the process. Just a lot of stuff was going on at the time, and I think that's why I was like, it was important to have at that time when we was with Legacy to have that type of community where you had people. Even though I never kind of vented or talked about like, oh, I already quit, but just being around people who doing what you're doing, it just make you like, okay, I need to just go harder. It's just like it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. A lot of factors at that time made me want to just quit.
Right. Okay.
So yeah. And I think that's one thing too, where and I think I learned a valuable lesson there, because like, if you want to do something in your life, you need to surround yourself with people who are doing what you're doing. I think that's where that transition to now, as far as in 2020, start meeting more people, like as far as when it comes to the, the internet, the sports talk radio, internet type of community, reaching out to more people, connecting with people, because you need that type of stuff, especially when you're going through certain things, especially when you feel like you're going through a dry patch or you're going through like points of, okay, it's I'm ready to just just quit. It's been a lot of moments. I mean, it's been a lot of moments where I felt like, okay, this is the end. Like this is gonna be it. But even through it all, this has just been the constant. Like you said, this like your happy place as well. Like same for me. Like and with the 9 years, and and in life you go through stuff, and I think this show has helped me as far as helped me kind of cope with certain things that has gone on in my life for the last like 9 years. So it's one of the things where it's like it gives me purpose. I think it's one of the things where I think the show has gave me a purpose kind of, and it's funny to think an idea that morphed out of essentially a name that I wrote on a dinner napkin while watching the 2014 World Cup has morphed into what it is current day. And it's the thing about all this. It's just the journey of it. And I learned too, where, people say, oh, well, what you've accomplished in this time, but just even small things like seeing my name on a media credential, my name, Chris Powell, in Couch Coach Live. And I think to myself, wow, like I created this name while I was waiting for some boneless chicken wings at Quaker State on Broad Street on a dinner napkin. On a dinner napkin.
Yeah, they don't understand how special that is right there. Like Quaker Steak and then boneless rings. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, because they at the time they had a World Cup viewing party for the
Mm-hmm.
men's World Cup in 2014, and it's just one of those things where it's just like it's weird, like it's that weird, but weird in a good way, like how certain things are just morph, and especially the name of it, and just a testament of just still being here. I think that's one thing too, where because it's a lot of times, and even in recent, to be 100% transparent, towards the end of the year, things got rough, and I like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I don't know. I'm like, what am I doing this for?
Right.
So a lot of it, yeah, and I'm telling you, it's just one of those things where you just and the thing about it, you just keep going, and obviously the beautiful thing about like this, the showing that you keep going,
Mm-hmm.
what's gonna happen?
Right.
If I would have quit that, like I told you that day, if I would have gave Marcus that $900 check,
You might not be doing it.
we wouldn't have met. We wouldn't have met.
Yeah.
We
Right.
wouldn't have met.
Right.
All the different things that have had transpired. I wouldn't have went to Indianapolis for the combine two
Mm.
years in a row.
Then went to
I
the Hall
wouldn't
of
have been.
Fame.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too. Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, wouldn't have been able to cover VCU sports like I do now.
Right.
Cover the Richmond Kickers, having opportunities to cover now Richmond Raceway. So
Right.
a lot of it's just like so. Like if like to me, if you got something going, you keep going. And
Yeah.
there's gonna be stuff in life that's gonna happen. That's gonna follow you out that beaten path, but you got to keep going
Right.
because you just never know what that's going to lead you to. Because if I'm telling you, if I wouldn't have kept it going, a lot of stuff that you would see present day when that and that's the one thing too where the stuff that we've done that has created the happiness in the midst of the dark days of my life. So
Right.
I
Make it
think that's
beautiful.
one thing, yeah. And that's the thing where, you gotta keep going. You just,
Right.
keep the faith and there's gonna be some roads that's
Right.
gonna wind. You think it's never gonna be a straight path. You might gotta go left, you might gotta go
Right.
right, but stay on that road, curvy, all that, stay on the road because you just never know what can happen at the end of the road or during your journey. But just enjoy every moment of it. Enjoy the ride. I think that's one thing because I used to shy away from having these type of like, okay, oh, the 5-year anniversary. Well, I don't care,
Right.
but
Right.
you have to
You
celebrate
have
these
to
days.
be.
Don't wait till ten
Yeah.
years. Like I can't wait till next year to celebrate 10. Like because I don't know
Right.
if 10 is gonna be here. So
Right.
celebrate it while you have a present moment and at in 9 years in. Like I know I've been good with for the last like 3 years. I think 2020 we had one,
Mm-hmm.
2021 last year as well, but
Mm-hmm.
probably like even 2016. I know I was on air in 2016. I didn't do nothing. I made it like it was nothing, but it is something. So
Yeah, it is something, man. A lot of people know who
yeah.
you are. A lot of people know who it is. You know what I mean? And like, let me tell you what the coolest thing. I believe in you. I believe in Couch
Yeah.
Sports Live. The coolest thing was when I would talk to a lot of the guys from Off the Ball Network. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And a lot of them, would say, man, Coach is the one that's kind of really pushing us, man, and blah blah blah. And it's just really being consistent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And reaching out. And to me, I believe you. I mean, I felt like Legacy did that for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you
Yeah.
want me to jump on your show? Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? I find the time for it because I felt like we also understand the importance of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we all had our shows, and we'll come up with something, and they'll be like, man, one of your homeboys or somebody like, yo, this be perfect for you. You know what I'm saying? Remember when I used to have my show and I'd be, yo, bro,
Hmm.
come in, and then I said, man, I would play music, and I was like, this is the soundtrack of us. And then at the
Yeah.
last minute they'd cancel. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So what do? You're like, man, what you doing, yo? You know what I'm saying? And then
Right. Right.
we could just do us, and I could be like, well, let's just talk about your show, and let's just talk about what's going on in sports. We ain't even,
Hmm.
blah blah blah. And but it was just cool to hear them saying, man, to me, Coach is the one that's keeping it together. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, because he know what he doing. He know what he got to do. And he make it he liked doing it. You know what I'm saying? And like I like when you talk to them, it's cool because you really talking sports. You know what I'm saying? And y'all really doing y'all dream, B. Like y'all really talking sports. Like y'all really talking stats. Y'all talking college what college they came from. Y'all really y'all talking old school stuff, 89, 93. These you know what I'm saying? Like when I was
Yeah.
watching you and was it Robert?
Yeah, Rob talking yeah. Yeah, me and Rob, yeah.
Yeah. I mean that was
Yeah.
great. Like you know, to me, I was like, what person that's not a ex skin commander or Washington football team fan wouldn't love that show because you guys are saying names. Y'all are fans. Y'all talking. Y'all are fans. Y'all understand the pressure and pain. Oh my God! If it is not the funniest thing in the world when y'all lose, oh my God! They'll be like, why would he go for it on third like that, man? Like, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it's damn near genius to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know it's a bunch of fans that feel the same way as
Yeah.
y'all do. You know. But anyway, man, I just it's been a great 9 years, man. It's crazy, right? Me and you been what
Yeah.
17, right?
Yeah, so that's what 6? Yeah, it'd be
Right.
6. Yeah,
You know what
6
I'm
years, yeah.
saying? And I just felt like it's an opportunity. And let me tell you, man, for me, I remember in 2012, I was watching a Breakfast Club, and I said I wanted to do something like this. So I didn't do
Mhm.
it until 2017. But the crazy
Yeah.
thing, I remember, like I said, I wanted to DJ, and then when I moved down here, one of my best friends that got me my first job was a DJ. So I was
Mhm.
carrying crates and him for Herb Lover and him and all these different places in Petersburg and in Richmond. So I wasn't DJing, but I was right there. You know what I mean? And I was able to hold the mic and get the crowd hype. So I feel like I'm doing the same thing here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm doing the same thing here. So yeah, man, I'm kind of interested, man. I was like, waiting for you to what's to see what's the next chapter, what's the next thing you're gonna do. You know what I mean? I feel
Yeah,
like
I
you got
mean,
something cooking for some reason.
not necessarily. I don't. It's some stuff in the works, but nothing too like crazy,
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is, and just continue to work and just just continue to enjoy the process. I think that's the thing with me with it. But yeah, I mean, I think just and then just seeing everybody else kind of who have been like alums like kind of succeed too. I think that's one thing
Mm-hmm.
too, where those those type of moments where that, and I think more so I think I do if I do want to become like a mentor in a sense. I think as far as when it comes to up and coming, I think that's one thing I really want to do down the line. I don't know if I'll be a good unk for that, but even though people say they say the different, they don't say. I always quit second guess myself when it comes to like being like that uncle figure or whatever, just to. And it was weird because like, and I think it really kind of sparked it when I went to Atlanta for the symposium,
Ooh.
and I was talking to somebody, and they asked me, they sat down and talked to me for like we talked like 10-15 minutes about like the podcast the game, and
Mm-hmm.
I think to myself, I ain't no old chump, but I'm like. You getting that advice from Unc? I'm like,
Right.
okay, well, that
Hey,
kind of made me feel. It made me feel like kind of wow.
couch
It did.
coach youngins, what's up, cuz?
But yeah, I would definitely, mentor the next generation because now I'm getting old, man. I'll be 40 next year, so it's kind of like I need to kind of help the youth, the next generation, as far as what I can do to help them as well. But I mean, I'm
It's
serious
crazy.
though. But I'm serious though,
I
like
know you see.
I'm yeah, but I don't know. But it's a lot. I think it's one of the things where I could definitely see myself in that position, you know, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
always I always give like as far as when people reach out to me, I'm always willing to help. So that's one thing with me. I help because people help me along the way as well too. So
I remember I had a
yeah,
show and it was mostly women. They was all Sagittarius, and I had like one or two dudes. And after the show, man, they was like, "Where Couch Coach at? I want to talk to him. Yes, I need to talk to this man. He knows some things." And I'm sitting here like, he just don't know, B. I said, he just don't know. Like, mess around. I was like, man, it's my first autograph. What was I watching? That somebody said, I forgot what I was. I was watching Rocky, and he was beat up, and he was like, he signed the autograph, and he was like, "This is my first autograph. My friend Jimmy." He was like, "I don't even know Jimmy. How is he my friend?"
Right.
But
yeah,
man, I love you, B, man. Happy birthday, B. You still doing it, man.
Yeah.
I know it was some
Yeah,
people
love
who
you
said,
too, bro.
I know it was some people, B,
You
that
too,
said
bro.
they didn't think you was gonna still be doing it, and said you had to be like Skip and had to do this and this. And really, man, all you have to do is be you
yourself. Yeah, man. Love you too as well, man. But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And I used to get that often. It's like, yeah, I mean, if I wanted to be a viral sensation, but guess what? Would I have been like Skip Bayless 9 years later? No. Because that caricature
right.
wouldn't last.
Yeah.
Could you like how insufferable would I be if I just talk about LeBron James and his mishaps for the last 9 years?
Right.
Like that's stupid to me. Like yes, LeBron has done some stuff that's questionable, but I'm not gonna just sit here on a mic and talk about LeBron James every little waking moment of content just to make content. Oh, why is Bronny wearing number 6 at USC? Like stupid stuff like that. No, like you said, you have to be yourself because everybody else is taken. You don't. Why would I want to be a Skip Bayless? Like no. And look how insufferable he is.
Right, because it just lets you know, like, he was quiet. Nobody, quiet, kind of embarrassing quiet. Nobody wants to work with him. And then LeBron does one thing that, you know what I'm saying, or say something, this, and that, and he just couldn't wait. And what's weird is I was watching it on Instagram. They filmed it. He looked like a person like, "You got me? You ready? I told you." I was sitting there like, oh my God.
Yeah, right. If I be a Skip Bayless, then you leave me like Skip did, like Shannon did. Right. And then guess what? We ain't gonna have another show to October. We gonna have another show to October to try to find somebody to replace you. Like,
I miss Shannon B. Like for real.
I mean, like, yeah.
You know that real shit, real shit, man. I miss Shannon B. Because like I've been watching a few other guys, and I really like a few guys that's talking, and they big radio guys that do their little podcast now. Well, do their big podcast now. I really like the fact that they're sticking up for the running backs. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of when we was, and I was watching, I said, wow, these guys, and they won't let, like they had their little co-host speak on it. Mm-hmm. They won't let them. I was like watching one today. He wouldn't let these. Said, man, what is you talking about? Yeah, we get that. But come on, man, this is football. Like, how you gonna treat a monster running back? Anyway, we already talked about that. But but yeah, man, I miss Skip. I mean, I miss Shannon.
Yeah, but he'll be back. He'll be back soon.
What did they say? What he's gonna do? They say what's gonna happen?
I mean, it's either between FanDuel or ESPN. So it's coming. It's
who's
coming.
Supposed to be Skip's replacement? I mean, the replacement.
Last report is maybe Richard Sherman, but I actually like him on Amazon. I'm like, because he the one that really kind of keep the Amazon kind of afloat to me, as far as the as far as the show, like the pregame and the postgame show. So
right.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they can always easily replace him on there because they. I mean, yeah, skip him, and that would be definitely interesting for sure. But yeah.
Skip got to have Skip got to have somebody that really loves LeBron. That's the only way it's gonna work.
That's how I'm thinking. Like Keyshawn probably might be the best. I know. I think I said it initially. Like Keyshawn would be once he got once the smoke cleared the ESPN, I was like, yeah, he should go to Fox.
Mm-hmm.
We should go to Undisputed. So we'll give out this week's game ball. Who gets this week's game ball for you?
I couldn't figure out that I said it was right in front of my face. I'm giving the game ball to Chris Couch Coach Live. Pow!
Hey.
Pow!
Hey.
Pow!
Appreciate
I'm so dumb, right? Because I'm sitting here like she kept saying. I said, "Do you mean like kapow, kapow?" She said, "No, like Batman, kapow." Oh, okay. Like, I get it now. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You get this game ball, man. You done put in 9 years worth of work, man. You working too. Like you working. Richmond Kickers. You know what I'm saying? Raceway. Waving at Michael Jordan. You know what I mean?
I know, right?
Going to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Going to the college. Like you really doing it.
Yeah, man. Just continue to grind. That's all, what I can,
Right.
Try to. Math is pretty simple. I'm surprised I'm giving this game ball, especially on a night like tonight. I'm gonna give it to my Central Division foe in the Cleveland Cavaliers for winning the 2023 Summer League. So shout out to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Great young nucleus of team. I definitely So yeah, they won. Obviously, they won the Summer League, beat Houston on Monday, and they got a ring. I think they do. I think they do get a Summer League ring.
Yeah, they give a Summer League read. There was a discussion today about the first day of Summer League. Is that more popular than the All-Star game?
I mean, they sold out that first night. I mean,
right?
When Charlotte and San Antonio played,
and they were saying that the thing of it is that that was good and bad. That's why I like to take because they were like some people picked the All-Star game because they knew it's gonna be. They said a lot of celebrities don't go, a lot of basketball players don't go, but they said but the Summer League is starting to be a lot of basketball players and somewhat celebs go to the first week.
Yeah, it is something, but yeah, and the championship game, man, that thing you can hear a pin drop. I mean, it was a lot of people, but not compared to the first night. So
I seen the game. I watched it with my dad.
Yeah, it is something though. But yeah, man. So, final thoughts before we head on out tonight.
Man, great show. Happy to still be here. I want to keep going. There's a lot of changes going on all around me, but I'm still trying to, what I'm saying, if I gotta change another day or something, I know you'll work with me. You know what I mean? So I'm still trying to ride. So I'm here.
Yeah, man.
Hell, I think now with the changes made, I might be able to take some of them trips with you because that's just something takes me. I'm like, oh, you went to Atlanta? I'm going to man.
Yeah.
I go get the wings, Chris. I'll be back.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man. Great show. Obviously, once again, especially for a night like tonight, the 9th anniversary. It's funny to think, that after all these years, the show is still around and didn't get canceled. And that's the beauty. The beauty thing of having your own, you can't get canceled. So the good thing about that. I mean, like I said, it's 9 years in and a lifetime to go. So, just another great show. And yeah, man. So we'll put a poll on tonight's Couch Coach Live, man, and we'll catch you guys next week. And we're out.
You're welcome.